Well, this is Baruch Fleischman here, and I'm back. I am your lift manager, your very own lift manager here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and the idea is to get in on the ground floor, learning Zohar, and taking it all the way up to the highest, the Most High. So over here, yesterday we got a definition of the Paraduma. Even though the rabbis are always saying the Paraduma, and it says every place the darkness is a chok, meaning that it has no explanation. Here the good Zohar went right away and gave us an explanation. It refers to Malchus. And the redness is a concept of the dinim that go into Malchus. And those dinim themselves to be sweetened. They become sweetened dinim. And at that point that Malchus is able then to go to the Klipa Noga, which we said is really, I'm trying to think, it's an interface between the real, pure, bad, the fantasies of the bad, the actions of the bad, and the actions of the good, Torah, Kedusha. It's an interface, but it's called a Klipas Noga. And able to reach into the Klipas Noga and be able to pull out of there the Kedusha that had been trapped as a result of, well, what happened to Adam and Chava. So this is the story of mankind. So here we are in this little piece. And I just will read the top part first, and we'll see if we can get into it a little bit better. It says Tamima. It has to be Tamima, which is pure. My Tamima. Kama Taninan. So we learned about this. So Shor Tam, Bashar Muad. Now the shore is this ox, which is the par, which is the bull. Tam, so one that has never hurt another ox or another person. V'shar muad, but then there's a kind of a shore which also is accustomed to gore. So it's also has to do with gory. Shor tam, din rafia. It means din. The second house, as I said in the astrology and the chart of Adam Arishon, is the house of the shore. It's din. So it's a din rafia. So the shor tam is a din, but it's a weak din, maybe a sweetened din. Shor muad din akasha. That refers to a very severe din. Of hachel. So also the same thing. Tamima. Din rafia. When we say that it's tam, if it has to be done, it represents a weaker type of din. A din they call the mansapach. That's what we saw before. The gematria of 280 plus 5 going into malchus. Gevura tetoah refers to the lower gevura. Let's see what he means by that. Do hi tamima gevura ilah. So this is the concept here. Tamima refers to the upper Gevura. Dohi Dinakasha, so the other one, I guess the Gevura, I don't know which one is which, now we'll find out, refers to a strict din, a sphere din. Fi Yada Chazaka Tekifa, this is the strong hand, the powerful hand. I have to kind of put this together here. Let's see what the Matak B'Devash could help us out here to try to understand what's being said. So we have the word Tamima. Shoel ma tamima, lama kasa tamima, halokavar ne'emer ein ba'amun, because we already said, in the pasuk it already said that it can't have a blemish, it has to be perfect, can't have a white hair, can't have another color hair. So tamima bimuso, this is the way that Rashi explains it. So it means tamima, it means that it has to be what I was just saying, it's completely and totally red. Yomer aduma kula, so that you say, well, let's say that it's completely red. And Meshiv commented to Ninan, so but the answer like with the Gomosha Lamanda Bepesekta Babakama. And it's in a Gemara called Babakama. Ki shor tam v'shor moed. There are two different types. It's a famous piece of Talmud. That there's two types of oxen, one that doesn't gore, and one that is gored already 3 times. I mean, it's so shor tam. So when we talk about the tam, the pure tam, that's called tam, means like pure. It means that it's a shore, all right. And shore, we learned yesterday that shore means tough dinim. Din rafa, but there is a weaker kind. There's a weaker din. Shor moed, the one that gores. Hainu din kasha, that's a din that's strong. Din kasha. Of chacha, so we have here tamima din rafia. When we say that it has to be tamim, tamima, then we say it's a weak din. Afkan mashakasa tamima he din rafa. So when it says that, it's talking about a weaker din. V'hu gevura tator. So now we have a concept here called the lower gevura. Gevura hatachtaina, the lower gevura. Shehi hamalchus, which is malchus. Tahainu Rachel. So this, once again, who is another name for the nukva, or the female aspect of Zeranpin, is Rachel. Rachel Imenu. Ha'omedet mechazed Zeranpin and Lamata. You want to say, where is Rachel Imenu located in the spiritual space, as if it was possible to say, of the Olam of Atzilus? The beginning, the template for the Rachel, which is the Keres Abayit down here in the earth. Rachel Omede Bechazed Zachul Lamata. So with the male form, which is called Zeranpin, as on his backside, his wife, who is Rachel. He has two wives. Rachel exists from his chest downwards. Shesham Makom Gilui Chasadim. Why? Because that's the place where the Chasadim that are in the Das of Zeranpin are revealed. They come out through the chest of Zeranpin. Why is that? Because they're contained, he's talking about the Chasadim that are contained in the Yesod of Ima, of Bina, that enters into Zeranpin and stops at his chest. And there, whatever's inside of her pours out. So she has Chasadim inside of her, and she has Gevuras inside of her. So therefore, Dinacho Shem Rafim. So therefore, they're weak then. Do ki temimas, that's the concept of being tamim. He temima. Al Shem shehi po'elas adin berachmim, because the character bayat of the Jewish people is always crying for us. And even though knowing that she exists in a world of din, and so she has rachmanis on us. Avach al gevura ilor, but there's a higher form of a gevura al yon, the dog he din kasha, that's a much stronger din. Zu he din kasha he Leah, which is called Leah because Yaakov Avinu had two wives. So Leah, we say on the backside, and we're talking about here spiritual space. And so therefore it's your imagination that has to be able to see that there is a male form that has two females on his back attached to him. Just like in any wedding or any marriage, the male and the female become one. That's the same thing over here, that in the backside of Zeranpin you have Leah from approximately his head, his neck, the top of his neck, down to his chest. That's where Leah is. And Rachel is from the chest down to the bottom of this spiritual man, who is not a man, but just a formation. Anyway, it says, L'chein dinecha koshin v'hi yada chazakat tekifish is also known, that is Leah. Let me go back over here and then we pick it up again. Zuhi din kasha v'hi Leah. That's the second wife of Zeranpin, of Yaakov. Shomed is mechazed the Zeranpin l'lamalish is from the chest upward. Shesham hachasadim adayim b'chusim, because there the chasadim are still clothed. Go away, Mr. Ant. They're still clothed. He said, and so therefore they can't shine outwards because they're still inside of the yesod of Ima, of Bina. Humiyad Arazaka, so it becomes the strong hand. Shehir Gevura de Zeranpin, which is the Gevura Zeranpin. Vihi Bechina Shor HaMoed, so that's the Shor HaMoed. That is the punishing Shor. Sharomas the Dinim Kashim, which refers to, very strict dinim. Let's go on. And where it writes that it can't have any blemish. Hainu kamada at amar, it's like you say like this. Kulach yafa rayasi umum ein bach. So kulach. So it might be your kala. Yafa rayasi. How beautiful is my beloved. Umum ein bach. And there is no blemish in your pirish. So what's this play? What is this talking about? Kasha Malchus, V'hiber Atzilus, that is the Malchus and Atzilus and Kedusha, Ein Ba Mum Shal Achizas Aklipos. She doesn't have any mumim. She's just inside of Atzilus, and this is a place where the Klipa can't get to her. Asher lo Allah Aleha all. Asher Allah Aleha all. She never had a yoke placed on her. Al Kasiv, on it says. Chaser Vav. So the word all, Asher lo Allah Aleha all. But he said there's a letter missing there. Should be with a Vav there. Voma all Kasiv, al Kasiv, like up above, Chaser Vav. That's what's it teaching us. The remez al eses sphira shel zer anpin. Shekol achaz kolulach me'eser, that each one of them has 10. So that's 10 times 10. Hare mea kemisbar al, which is the gematria of this word al. What does that mean? Shemisaknim es malchus, that these 10 spheros pour the light of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu into malchus, and there are 100 of them, which is the gematria of al. So let's see how it reads in Asher lo Allah Aleha al. And he says that this is the number, this is written without a vav, to tell you that this gematria is 100. There are 10 spheros of Zer Anpin, that each one of them has 100, has 10. Hare mea kemisbar al. Shemisaknim is a malchus. This is all coming into malchus. The question that I have about it, I had to read it twice, is that lo Allah Aleha all. He said the all never went on to her, which is these 100 spheros. Kamada Atama, let's go over here and let's see if we can understand it better. As you say, says like this, Kamoshen Emma Nu'um HaGever Hukam all. So he said, and the man said, Hukum all, set up this all, which we just said means all, which means also, it's written without a vav, it means the 100. Begam al zechadarsha chazal, so the rabbis say on this too, David tikun mea brachos, the tikun amalchos k'mispar all, so the mispar al are all. That David the Melech, he established that there should be 100 brachos. We're supposed to make 100 brachos every day. So he's like a mispar al, like the count of al. My timer, what's the reason? Malatam shazer anten misakin as a malchus. What's the reason why? He said, begin dehi shlome emuna yisrael. The fi shehi meshalem is because malchus is what completes. Malchus is also known as emuna. Mishalem is called Sphira Shel Zer Anpin. She is the completion of all the spheres of Zer Anpin. Hanikra Yisrael La'aser, which is called Yisrael, into 10. Well, Allah love Ella Imo. What's this mean? Ratzon Noma Mashakasav Ashelo Allah Aleha all. So we have this phrase where it says an all never went on to her. It's not on her, but it's with her, like maybe a part of her. Behind the Keshach, Malchus Nikras Bechinas Para. So it says like this: when you use the word para to associate, to refer to Malchus, Oz Ein Zer Anpen Alecha Beso the Yichud, that means it's a time when Zerach Anpen is not, he says, Alecha on her, in the secret of the Yichud, Elohu Omed Imo below Yichud besod Ach Pa'ach. But this is a period where Zer Anpen instead is not in a position to make Yichud with her, because Yichud has to take place face to face. Zer Anpen is still Ach to Ach. There's a whole Nesira that has to take place. Make it possible for the the female to Malchus to face him. And before Yosef Mashakasav and more is explained what is written like that Shelo Allah Aleha all, that she never had a yoke upon her. That the virgins of the Jews, Shehi Rak Bechinid Besula, the Zer Anpin and Nikra Yisrael, that she's only a virgin for Zer Anpin, who is called Yisrael. Vehi Besula Veish Lo Yodah. The Haina Zer Anpin Hanikra Gam B'Shem Ish Lo Yada B'So the Yichud, that he wasn't with her at the time of the Yichud. Now that part, this last part, needs explanation for me, but we'll see if we have time to be able to get to it. This has been Baruch Fleischman at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel.